The silence in Philadelphia is deafening. And for the first time in years, the foundation of the Eagles' empire is facing a reality no one wants to admit. The era we knew is fading, and a desperate, chaotic scramble to replace it has officially begun. You think the roster is set. You think the stars are safe. Think again. There is a massive, uncomfortable truth hidden behind the recent roster moves. A truth that points to a front office panicked by the specter of their own decline. Something is shifting in the city of brotherly love, and it's not just the playbook. It's the entire identity of the team. Before we dive into the wreckage and the hidden gems that could save this season, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, no-nonsense NFL updates on the planet. The signing of Eric Ezukanma isn't just another name on a 90-man roster. It is a blinking red light. It tells you everything you need to know about the fear gripping the front office. We are looking at a former fourth-round pick from Texas Tech, a guy with the frame, the wingspan, and the theoretical ceiling to be a nightmare for defensive backs. He's 6'2", over 200 pounds, and possesses a catch radius that should have made him a household name. But the NFL is a graveyard of should-have-beens, and Ezukanma's journey, from Miami's depth charts to the lonely grind of the UFL, is a cautionary tale. Why bring him in now? Why look at a guy who has struggled to make a single consistent impact in the pros? Because the front office is terrified of what happens when the depth chart gets thin. They know what it feels like to have the passing game implode because of one or two injuries. They've tasted that disaster before, and they are hell-bent on never letting it happen again. But does a guy like Ezukanma actually change the ceiling of this team? Or is he just a body meant to survive until August? Keep that question in your mind, because what happens when the pads start popping in training camp is going to shock even the most optimistic fans. But if you think the panic is only at the wide receiver position, you aren't looking close enough at the offensive line. Specifically, you aren't looking at the man holding the right side of the earth together. Who do you think is actually going to be the biggest surprise on this roster by the time we hit the playoffs? Drop a name in the comments, and let's see if you're paying attention to the real story. Let's talk about Lane Johnson. For years, he has been the immovable object, the standard-bearer for what a right tackle should look like in the modern NFL. But he's 36 now. He is staring down the barrel of his 14th season. There's a human cost to playing this game at an elite level for that long. And for the first time, Johnson has been open about the reality of his own mortality on the field. He's taking it year by year, and honestly, that's a terrifying prospect for the coaching staff. He speaks about his career blossoming in his 30s, about the new scheme feeling more friendly to his aging joints. He's talking about how the change in blocking angles and the shift to having a hand in the dirt is finally going to give him the support he's been missing. It sounds like a victory lap, doesn't it? But behind that bravado, there's the undeniable shadow of the rookie drafted to replace him, Marquil Bell. Bell is the project, the raw clay that the team is desperate to mold into the next great anchor. But projects take time, and time is the one thing the Eagles don't have. They need Johnson to stay upright, to stay healthy, and to defy the laws of physics for just a little bit longer. But wait until you hear why the coaching staff is willing to bet everything on a young and proven linebacker who is currently flying completely under the radar. The narrative around the defense has been focused on the big names, the veterans, the guys with the massive contracts. But the real story of this defense is being written by Jeremiah Trotter Jr. If you've been watching the flashes, the way he diagnoses plays, the way he moves through the traffic to find the ball. It's not just talent. It's heritage, and it's a terrifyingly high football IQ. While the pundits are obsessed with the stars, Trotter is busy proving that he isn't just a backup. He is a starter in waiting. Vic Fangio isn't the type to hand out snaps for the sake of nostalgia. He trusts what he sees, and what he sees in Trotter is a piece of the puzzle that fits perfectly alongside the athleticism of Zach Bond. While the rest of the league looks at the Eagles and sees a team in transition, there's a quiet confidence brewing in the linebacker room. They are tired of the what-ifs. They're tired of the injuries to guys like Nakobe Dean that have derailed previous runs. They want stability. They want guys who can read, react, and punish. Trotter is exactly that. But this brings us to the ultimate point of tension. Why are they really pushing for this new, collective approach in the offense? Why the obsession with wide receiver depth? Why the constant shuffling? It's because the window is closing. The league has shifted, the division is becoming a gauntlet, and the vanilla schemes of the past are no longer enough to win the games that actually matter. The coaching staff knows that if they want to get back to the mountaintop, they can't afford to be predictable. They're trying to build an offense that is bulletproof, quarterback-friendly, run-friendly, and capable of adapting to whoever is standing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. It's an aggressive, almost desperate pursuit of excellence. And it leads to a question that hangs over the entire organization. Can they actually pull it off? Can they blend the old guard legends like Johnson with the new blood like Trotter and the desperate depth pieces like Ezekama to create a contender? Think about the pressure on this team. Every single day of training camp is a stress test. Every snap, every drill, every decision made by the front office is a reaction to the fear of failure. And yet, there is something beautiful about it. The way these guys are pushing their bodies, the way they are relearning how to play the game in this new system. It's a masterclass in adaptation. But we have to be honest with ourselves. The social media noise, the panic about trades, the speculation about who is getting cut, that's just noise. The reality is found in the dirt, in the film room, and in the quiet, focused intensity of players like Johnson and Trotter. They know that this is a results-driven business. There is no sentimentality in the NFL. You either perform or you get left behind. As we look toward the season, keep your eyes on the guys no one is talking about. Watch for the way the offensive line shifts when the game gets tight. Watch for the way the defense reacts when the opposing quarterback tries to expose the middle of the field. These aren't just details. They're the cracks in the foundation that will either be filled by champions or exploited by the competition. The Eagles are gambling on the idea that if they add enough pieces, if they get the scheme right, and if they can keep their veterans healthy, they can ride this wave back to the top. It's a high-stakes game of chess, and the moves they are making right now are the ones that will define the next chapter of this franchise's history. Are they geniuses for planning this deeply, or are they setting themselves up for a fall by overcomplicating a simple game? We are weeks away from finding out. And honestly, I don't think anyone is truly ready for what is about to happen on that field. The pieces are moving. The tension is real. And for the first time in a long time, the outcome feels like it could swing in either direction. Stay locked in, because this isn't just a season, it's a crossroads. And Philadelphia is standing right in the middle of it, holding its breath, waiting to see if the gamble pays off.